Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Cancer season. This is a season that is bringing a lot of energy into your chart. There is energy for your personal expression, for your creativity, for your hobbies, for your pastimes. This is a season that also, for some of you, could feel romantic, flirtatious, and playful. Romance doesn't necessarily have to be of the sexual kind. There are plenty of romantic encounters that you can have with platonic friends, with people of all ages who you might find interesting, who spark your curiosity, and even with beings beyond the human realms. I, for one, am a big fan of flirting with flowers. I think that they are so luscious and creative and wonderful. And sometimes walking down the street, I just, spend some time admiring them, and that makes me feel pretty good. So maybe you're a person who likes to flirt with flowers as well. This is definitely a season where you want to involve yourself with admiration, with adoration, with enthusiasm, with beauty, with the feeling of playfulness and spontaneity. This serves and feeds your own energy. And definitely can contribute to helping you manifest what you are trying to do. Now, what are you trying to do? Because this is a season that also indicates a kind of period of ripening of something. It feels like you are preparing for some big moves. And some of you might actually be looking at moving or shifting something in your home and family situation, or making some big and important decisions when it comes to foundational structures in your life. This can definitely also include your jobs and livelihoods. Um, as you move through Cancer season, definitely apply yourself to whatever it is that you are tending. So this feeling of something is ripening, something is readying, there are preparations to be made. The feeling that I have here is that there are ongoing projects that you have been uh, working on that are ready to kind of turn a page, get to a next chapter. And over the course of Cancer season, you are starting to turn that page. So, especially as we get into the month of July, it feels like a lot of you are like hitting the ground running a little bit, and the pace is picking up on whatever it is that you are working on. Now, the feeling that I have is that what you're working on has an element of creativity in it. Now, life is creative. When I say creativity, I don't necessarily mean like you're creating a work of art, though some of you definitely are. Um, but you are creating something that feels like it is helping you align yourself more deeply with the nature of your authenticity and your spirit. No matter how old you are, you're never too old to play. And I think that a lot of you are looking for a sense of more spontaneity and playfulness right now. And depending on your access to resource, and also depending on, a lot of things, including your worldview and perspective, as you get older, it might feel like play gets limited to certain kinds of arenas. But the struggle for liberation is the kind of constant project, especially for you right now. I think that there's a sense of really wanting to reclaim and remember and recover aspects of your being that you haven't cultivated or formed already in a really concentrated way. So it feels like you're trying to invest in some new growth, but this growth also has a kind of long-term feeling to it. So it's an interesting time, and the metaphor of like gestation and birthing might be appropriate for some of you literally, and for others of you metaphorically. I would say that this is a period of time. Cancer season begins from a period of gestation, but then as we move through the season, there's a kind of emergence, and something is like externalizing in some new ways. And as it externalizes, you can work with it differently. And you're trying to set things up with some kind of view of a longer term of where you're going. I want to say that it is okay to not know where this is going to go. It's also really okay to not know what this means for you as a person. This feeling of wanting to reconnect with these aspects of your energy is requiring you to wrestle a little bit with aspects of your identity that feel confining at this point. And especially over the last year or so, I think a lot of you have been sensing a kind of squeezing. And it feels like whatever you have cultivated for a long time needs to get pushed out and reshaped so that you have some more room to grow. But as you push out and as you reshape, there's also this unknown that's getting opened up. And for some of you, this unknown, I think, might be kind of surprising. There might be a feeling of like, oh, I had that plan, and then I, implemented my plan, but it didn't quite work out in the way that I imagined it would, or maybe it did work out in the way that I imagined it would, but now I'm here, and now everything is different. And what I imagined for myself from back there was from a perspective of back there. And now I'm here and the landscape is different. You might feel that you don't want to be who you used to be in some kind of either more subtle or very explicit way. And you are not going to be who you used to be. You're already not that person. But you are in a period and a process of transformation. And this transformation is taking place over the next year and a half or so. So there's a kind of like significant shift for you that's beginning, I'm going to say pretty remarkably as we get into July, that will be a process through next June, June of 2025. That is about reshaping the landscape of your day-to-day. This includes your schedules, your rhythms, your self-care. This definitely includes your responsibilities and your jobs and your labor. Over the course of the next year, you are trying to reshape your life in its fundamental components so that it is more aligned with what feels authentic for you. Between now, well, we've already begun this process, but over the course of a couple of years, until the beginning of 2026, there is a big shift that's happening. And this is a shift that is definitely collective and environmental and geopolitical. It's also a shift that is highly personal. People are really needing to contend with the world changing. And so there is an aspect of you don't quite know who you are right now because the world is changing around you, and you feel yourself being called and pulled and pushed in new and different ways. And there's so much change that is so rapid that it's really hard to predict how you're going to have to develop. And I think a lot of you are trying to grab onto something right now, and you're trying to get like a formal picture or an idea, but it simply isn't ready yet. And you have to be in this period and this process of unlearning and letting go in order to get to this next step and this next phase. you can help yourself become more coherent in your own changes when you attune and align with the ways that you can sense and feel and see the collective and greater environment, uh, efforting, striving, and struggling to become more authentic and integrated and aware and attuned. If there are aspects of what's happening in the world right now that really move you and touch you deeply, I want to ask you to concentrate your personal change in ways that will directly contribute to the well-being of what moves you. If you, for example, if you are really moved by uh, the anti-war movement and you're feeling like, I don't want to live in a world where there is so much war, then part of your necessary requirement in your reshaping right now has to do with the ways that you engage yourself in war. This might be othering and judgment. This might be a tendency to be reactive, defensive, or quick to fight. This might be ways that you don't speak up, that you hide yourself, and maybe in the effort to keep the peace, allow for abuse to happen. In your own psyche and persona and personality, can you find the reflection of, or the reflections of what you see in the broader world? And in the ways that you make choices and consume and use your resources, can you align your choices with how you want to see choices realigned in the larger world? As we get into the end of Cancer season, there is an acceleration of a particular kind of energy. Now, in the larger world, this is going to be an acceleration of information. We're already living in the information age when there is just so much coming at us all the time. And certainly we're living through a period of time in which best practices and ethics and regulation of information is quite immature. It hasn't really happened yet. I don't know if it will. So one thing that I want to say is this is just a period of time to work skillfully with information as it comes in. And particularly if information is coming in that feels destabilizing for you or feels like it's going to affect you on a foundational level. And so here, livelihood, home, family, your bodily security and sovereignty, the environment, things like that. As information comes in, first and foremost, seek out diversity of perspectives. Even if your sources of information are well-founded, there will be other perspectives that are also well-founded. There are lots of different routes to the same destination. And I think that a lot of you have to be adaptable right now. You have to be able to kind of shift at a moment's notice and work skillfully with what is coming up. If plans are not going according to plan, especially between July and September, be adaptable. Have your plans A through F kind of written out somewhere. Have some kind of strategy around how you might maneuver and adapt. If plans need to change and you feel caught off guard, or maybe you're even prepared, take some time to feel into what is the opportunity of this unexpected change. If things aren't going in a certain direction, it doesn't mean that all directions are closed. It just means that you can't go that direction. What other directions are available to you? It may be that there is a different route that is going to be ultimately better for you. It may be that there is some kind of learning or mental process, conceptual process, or relational process that needs to happen. It may be that the conversations that need to happen haven't happened, and so there's a lack of information or something like that. So I really want to encourage you to work skillfully with information, especially when it comes to changing your foundations, whatever that might mean for you. Definitely think about multiple options. I'm not saying this to get you freaked out, and I think a lot of you, your plans are going to work out just fine, but it's still going to serve you to kind of like have a sense of your capacity for adaptation and what options could get opened if the one that you are orienting towards doesn't work out exactly as planned. I also want to say that from the end of July until the beginning of September, a lot of you are moving, like you are ready to get moving in some new ways. Some of you are really needing to differentiate and disrupt old patterns and habits right now, particularly patterns and habits that might have to do with home and family. Some of you have the travel bug and you like need to explore and kind of literally like get moving. There are lots of reasons why people are needing to be in migration or movement right now. And on some level, we all need to be prepared for that. So during this period of time, networking and connections, multiple variants and variables for routes, and thinking about where are the open spaces and the opportunities will all be really helpful for you. I also want to conclude this horoscope, Pisces, by saying that you are always connected with a larger source of intelligence. You are not here alone. You are not isolated, even though it can often feel like that. Even though many of us have lived experiences where there is a really significant lack of support or community or relationship, and we may be very lonely, you are not alone. There is so much connection available to you, and that connection comes through channels of your own spirit. It comes through your relationship with the living world. It comes through your relationship to ancestors, both past and future. It definitely comes through in the ways that you connect across the realms of ideas and inspiration and dreams. Please remind yourself consistently that you are not alone. And in the spaces where you do feel relationship, and definitely where you feel the possibility of relationship, Pisces, I invite you to flirt. Be flirtatious in Cancer season. And flirtation really gets a boost with curiosity, with attention, with playfulness, and a good sense of humor. And noticing what's beautiful, picking up on little details and letting those details bring a spark to your eyes and a smile to your lips and some kind of appreciative words out of your mouth that will really open things up remarkably, I think, for you. Pisces, I'm wishing you all the best in Cancer season and beyond. Bye for now.